Hello, my name is Elijah Wells, and today's review is Tom George's new movie, See How They Run. Taking place in 1953 London, a movie producer, Leo Kopenick, wants to buy rights for the very famous West End show called The Mousetrap. After some negotiations happen, he is surprisingly murdered. And the news, of course, shooken the cast and the crew to its core. So it's up to two detectives, being Inspector Stoppard, played by Sam Rockwell, and Constable Stalker, played by Saoirse Ronan, to investigate the murder of the film producer, played by Adrien Brody, and see, like Agatha Christie, who done it. What's very interesting about this movie is its world building, which is really good in this movie. Even though massive chunks of the movie take place in the theater, as I said, but also takes place in chunks of like mid 50s, early 50s London. Even though I think it kind of it also still like resembles like modern London. I think it's also trying to like weave to the past while also looking a little bit hip, which I thought was pretty solid at best. Since I actually do remember seeing I think some neon lighting like in the background for like a split second. Like, okay, I'm seeing what they're doing, but I kind of like a little added quirkiness to it, like where it kind of messes around with the timeline. Like something like with Now Alive, with like cars that weren't available in like the late 70s or 60s. And of course, some other like continuity editors. I think it kind of reminds me around that with Alleyway that I really like. And also, the mystery aspect of the movie really works well, as the whole whodunit situation is who killed the Hollywood producer who wants to get the rights for this Mousetrap play. Of course, fell into the trap of death. So it was also this really weird case that I think everyone is not just a suspect, but could be an ongoing victim, because the killer for the duration of the movie is at large. And of course, there have been a lot of spouts, like the producer getting into a fight with Richard Attenborough, and of course, going to a massive fight with the writer on numerous occasions in the movie, and just being a bit of a drunk person, which kind of establishes that everyone really does not like Hollywood producers. There is some very strong chemistry, particularly with Sam Rockwell's character and Saoirse Ronan's character being Constable Stalker. Uh, they bond like really well. They do a great lot of conversations to each other, and Saoirse Ronan has this really interesting thing that sets her back. Is that you always jumps to conclusions, and she hasn't taken her like a official policing exam yet, which kind of puts herself like really on the edge compared to her superior detective, who what's set him back as a person that his wife cheated on him. He's a jaded alcoholic, and of course he makes puzzles for a living. Even though unfortunately that never really gets explored a lot. But I think it's again like Agatha Christie. It's like putting all the pieces together. I thought that was a very clever motif. The film's aesthetics is really pleasing, and so is the design. Like, the costuming work is brilliant. I really like a lot of its art direction as well, particularly in the theatre as well as the hotel scene. Again, with the With Now and I, which is bending history a little bit. Even though the movie takes place in 53 London, there was like for one split second there was like it was visible there was the modern Canada flag, as in the red maple leaf and two stripes beside it. That wasn't introduced until like the late 60s. Again, it's like with Now Lie, they play around with history a little bit, and not to the point where it just becomes blatantly inaccurate, but I think it's doing it just for laughs, really. I think it's a little bit out of the loop, but still, I really kind of like that. And also, I really like the side performances, not just of Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan, but Adrien Brody is really good in the movie, even though he's only in the film for like the first 10 minutes. And David Oyelowo as the aspiring writer who is always on odds with the film producer. He's actually really good in this movie as well. Like, he really did himself well in that one. And even the actor who played Richard Attenborough is really great in the movie. even though I found the movie to be both weirdly enjoyable and upfrontedly enjoyable as well, there are also some little bits of criticisms I kind of had with the movie. Like, I think that it just the use of foreshadowing in the movie got way too heavy-handed, particularly with the storyboard sketches, which is interrupted by a pretty hilarious new drawing. Like, then this happens and that happens and this. Oh, there's a new drawing, and this happens and that happens. Like, I can tell this is gonna be foreshadowing, but when it gets to the third act, that exact scenery happens, except with some minor tweaks in there, and I think even though it gets that foreshadowing is a little bit weird and a little bit heavy-handed at best. However, I did like when the killer is revealed and where he explains like, you did this to me, you did that to me. Like, it all kind of comes together. Like, now it makes sense. It didn't feel like the person who did all the killing isn't doing it just for sports. And again, that killer twist is, of course, it didn't feel like it wasn't out of nowhere at all. Like, I felt like it kind of felt like a bit of a gradual build-up. Like, it was very convincing at best. This is a very enjoyable time at the cinema. A great performances, great sets, great writing, and a really great direction by Tom George from this one. And this is a very great. This is a great movie, to be honest. And I would just say this is not a spoof or satire of whodunit. I feel like this is like a really great addition to that genre, and I feel like this is a great nod to it. I'm feeling a 7 out of 10. This is Elijah Wells, and like this video, comment below, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and this is Elijah Wells, and bye.